All right. So I am just checking to see if I am coming through on both Twitch and YouTube. Looks like I am. Yeah, I'm coming through on both now. That's good. Okay. I wasn't before. I think something I did messed up the the streaming settings, but that's okay. Figured it out. So now I'm back. Man, that's awkward when that happens, don't you think? Okay. Anyways, yeah. Now I'm back, and so I'm just gonna turn the music back on and get back to sculpting. So here we go. All right. Let's get back to this. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to try to make this a flat V. So okay. Yeah. So let's try to make this a bit of a flat V here. So I'm gonna go onto the sides here and just kind of pop this out with some clay strips just to give it some volume here. Now I could inflate this. I just think that clay strips work better for adding in like bulk. Especially since the bulk I want is more like kind of just the sides of things. Okay. And I don't want it to kind of inflate like how the algorithm inflates it. So, okay. All right. So that's a little thicker now. It's that should be good. All right, what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to come back in and crease this helmet up to kind of make it look like the helmet and the head V work in together, but I got to flatten that top too. So here we, and I got to come back in and carve that section away because my thought process behind this would like you reach over your head and you pull the helmet off from that little fin there. So that's kind of what my my thought process is. So I'm gonna just kind of strip this away. Just keep working on it. But let's flatten the tops and then we'll start flattening the sides. I guess that's what we'll do. Okay. Now, all of my like real sharp edges, I want to kind of mark out. So while I flattened out that top there, let's go ahead and grab our crease brush, shrink that down, and just kind of add myself the little creasing edge here, just to tell me that that is where that is going to stop. And then like we'll crease, let's see. We'll kind of smooth this out because it's going to kind of change a little bit. But there is the creasing edge for that top piece there. And I'm okay with the way it comes down. This is only supposed to be an educational piece for my students anyways, so I'm not super worried about how it looks. If I were putting this in a game, I would care a lot more, but this is just to teach them retopology, so it's all good. But let's kind of build this area out a little. Smooth that down. I'll come in here, add in some extra. Take it right up to that edge there. And let's try to scrape this just to smooth it out just a bit. So we're getting that kind of real metal or like hard plastic feel here. Oh, that's almost exactly what I was thinking. So that works out great. All right, now I've got to figure out how to do the kind of transitional twist here. Because I want the side to be like, I want the side to be flat, I want the top to be flat, and I want there to be an inside. So it's kind of going to come, I guess that top part on the outside at least is probably going to start right about here. And so I can just kind of lightly mark this. And as it goes up, start to kind of curve it towards the top. So now I've got that ridge, and I can just take that ridge up all the way around here. So we'll just grab that ridge and just, yep, okay. Okay, that ridge needs to come up a little bit, or you know what? Just so I can get a better picture of it, let's do that inside ridge, and then I'll flatten it out and try to do piece by piece here. So I've already kind of got that inside ridge, so we'll just take that, and we'll say there is the inside ridge. And it's going to come right up here and kind of follow along. And that's all I'll do for right now. Then I'm going to come in here and flatten out that piece so that it kind of looks like a hard surface instead of this weird, almost organic type of thing. Let's add in some just real quick bulk. Smooth that out a bit, and then here we'll come in here with the flatten brush and start flattening. Alright, what's that look like? Oh, that looks good. Yeah, that looks good. I'm going to have to do some more touch-up work on that, but that looks acceptable. And then let's come in here and we'll start to flatten this. Just want to be careful because I want it to go up to the edge, and I don't want it to flatten kind of past that edge at all. So I'm going to be careful as I make these strokes here. How does that look when attached to the... Okay, good. That still kind of looks normal, but let's pull this down a little bit. Or I guess pull it out, maybe. There we go. That's kind of close to what I want, and then we can come in here and just kind of flatten that into place. I need to get rid of that side ridge there. I just want it flat. And it's not going to kind of flatten like that. I probably should have fixed it with the base mesh, but that's okay. It is close enough that I can kind of cover over that with the helmet when I go back to fix that. Okay, so now let's do the inside here. And I'm actually going to need to hide a part of this up, and let's stop sculpting in orthographic because that's just going to give a weird result. But I just need to, let's go ahead and hide this half of the thing. I don't want to see it. Alright. It's giving me somewhat of a flat surface here. You know what? I should probably fix that ridge. Let's move this ridge. Instead of being there, let's move the ridge down. So that it connects and just runs up with this. And so now we're going to have a whole sweeping motion. Of this front piece going forward. Yeah. So let's just add in kind of a hard line crease here. And we'll just pinch that together. Okay. Let's go back to the side here. And it's still following along on this outside piece here, so I'm not too worried about it. It's all good, man. It's all good, coverless tub. I know it was really late where you were at. But I've taken your advice. I'm doing a, you know, obviously you're watching it right now, but I'm doing the 3D modeling on the creative on Twitch. So I'm in the simul streaming on YouTube as well, but this is going to be really helpful for when the school year starts back up in a week. There, let's come back in here. Kind of pinch that back together. With the crease, we'll mark it out, and then we'll grab the pinch press and just kind of pinch it together. We're giving ourselves a bit of a hard edge there. Okay. Alright, that outside's looking pretty smooth here. So let's go ahead and mark out the next little section of our top a little bit better than I did. So we'll take it and we'll kind of curve it along here. Let me turn smooth stroke on because there we go, that's better. That's so much better. Okay. That's adhering a lot better to our natural curve of the object here. So we'll just kind of pick that up. Let's make that a little wider. right, cool. So let's take this and kind of flatten out that top. So hard surface sculpting is something I'm just getting into. I've spent most of my time trying to make organic things. And I would model the hard surface stuff. So hard surface sculpting is a totally different feel. It just requires so much time to do. It's not really flat. I mean, it's flat enough for retopology, but it's not objectively flat, and I just, it's gonna irk me, but it's okay. Let's scrape this down first. Oh, that looks so much nicer. I'm gonna do some of that here. Let me scrape some of this too. Just kind of pull off the uneven bits a little bit. Where's my matte cap? Let's turn the matte cap on. There we go. And let's go with a blacker one. Nah, that's. There we go. That's more the color I work with. No, I mean, I did start with a low poly. So, like, let me see if I can go back. I don't have another layer. Whatever. No, I started with a low poly. I've been adding the higher poly version in sculpt mode. But I've tried not to, with this, I've tried not to do any edit mode work where I'm actually manipulating the vertices. I'm trying just to sculpt this into position. Right now, I did cheat a little bit, and on these like headphone things, I went in here and added in the edge loops and faces for these little spines here, just because it would have been nicer. It's nicer than any attempt that I did. So, but yeah, I started by laying out like a foundation of like 6 different objects here, and now that now that I was kind of happy with it, I'm just sculpting in the rest of the detail. Which, you know, dynamic topology is great for that, but I don't know. Sculpting for me is a little easier when you can, you know, actually work with with a full base mesh instead of just kind of a default shape. But I'm trying something new. Trying a new technique here that I can kind of use for my students and see if they'll do better with this technique as opposed to, you know, creating everything in edit mode first and then working on it from there. Yeah, Blender's pretty similar to like Maya in how it functions, and the sculpting is pretty similar to ZBrush in how the ZBrush works. Anderson, I am going to not come to Chick-fil-A, not because I don't like Chick-fil-A, but rather because I don't have any money. I'm waiting for the school year to start back up. I need some cash flow. Yeah, with, you know, between ZBrush and Blender, it's kind of artist choice, really, what they want to work with. But I love working with Blender, and I have seen some stuff in ZBrush, and it just seems like it works really well. And one of my students did an internship where all they got to use was ZBrush, and they just loved it. They loved every bit of working in ZBrush. But I would, you know, I could never convince the school to buy that because it's like $800 a pop for the license. All right, we got our crease back here. How does that look in total? Yeah, that looks pretty decent. Ugh, why didn't that? Okay, let's fix that. Let's symmetrize that. Symmetrize from positive X to negative X, please. There we go. That's better. That is most definitely better. Okay. Yeah, I mean, ZBrush is even on the cheaper side, but it's, my understanding is it's just primarily a sculpting thing, whereas Maya is like $2,000 a pop, which is nuts. That's just nuts. All right, let's crease that down here. Somehow I've got to bring this all down, so we're gonna let this edge that we've been running be the edge. So here, we'll actually just smooth stroke that edge all the way down and then all the way back up. Yeah, in Maya, I mean, you can render things, you can texture, you can animate. So, you know, it's worth it. There's a reason it's the industry standard. But still, $2,000 a pop is kind of ridiculous. I mean, I know they got to make their money, you know? And I guess if you're working with companies that make video games or tons of cash from, like, Pixar movies, you know, you got to get yours because they're getting theirs, but... if I brought this one down, stylistic choices. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay, not a big deal. Alright, let's finish out this sculpt here, and then I'm going to need to find that. They do, But even those cheaper licenses, when I looked at them, are still around. The last time I looked, I think it was like $1,000 a pop. It might have even been $500 a pop. I don't quite remember. But the way that I guess our schools work is that if there's no money attached to it, meaning if we can't convince the state to give us more money per passing like industry certification exams, then the odds of us getting that software are very, very slim. And so right now, our state doesn't offer any certifications for Maya, even though, you know, we have Disney World and you know, Orlando, and that's what they want. That's what they use. And the colleges in that area, universities, they're like, hey, if you come to our art school, you'll learn these programs. Because nobody's ever gotten the states to say, or those companies to write like a formal, hey, your high school students, if they knew this, they'd have a really cool job with us. Because no one's ever gotten that said, the state refuses to pay for new tech. All right, let's wait. Did I just mask that? I want to hide that. There we go. Uh-oh. Maybe let me just bring that back. And let's go back to the scrape brush and just hide all of that. Yeah, so now I'm working with what I need to work with. Okay. So I have to enlarge this. Well, actually, I'll probably just fix that with the helmet. I'll bring the helmet out. It'll be easier to do that. So let's kind of scrape this down. Actually, let's look at it from the top. And instead of scraping it, let's just go ahead and flatten it. Increase the strength of that maybe. Try to push that down a little bit further. Smooth it out. I could probably layer that in position. Let's see, but let's but that's gonna give me some weird effects here. That's a lot flatter. Let me see. I'm gonna smooth that out. What happens? I don't like that, and it did some weird junk to the bottom there. So we'll undo that. So instead of that, let's just deflate it a little bit. And then flatten it. Oh, that's better. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing to bottom here, and let's hide that computer back piece, because I'm not sure I want to keep that anymore. It was a good idea when I had it, or at least I thought it was a good idea, and the more I look at it, the more I'm just not happy with it. Alright, now let's flatten that. Oh, I get the grab brush. Let's flatten. Oh, that's better. Oh my goodness, that's so much better. Okay. But there's that problem. I'll fix that with the helmet. We'll grab that. Okay. Let's bring the rest of it back. And we will symmetrize that from positive X to negative X. Have it fix itself. There we go. Alright, we'll come in here with the crease brush. Give myself a nice little crease for that transition here. Which actually means I kind of want to bring this edge down to here, just like I did with the other one. Mario Underwater song, completely free through Spotify's Twitch playlist, or Twitch's Spotify playlist, I guess would be the right way to say that. That looks dumb. That looks objectively dumb. Maybe I could fix that with the crease. Let me move the crease a little bit. See if I can... Yeah, if I brought it out... Like, if I brought it out this way... Yeah, let's try that. I'm going to turn off smooth stroke. Smooth stroke. Let's smooth that out just a bit. Okay. Yeah, that works. Okay. Yep, okay. So I am going to delete this little computer unit here. Honestly, I could probably just sculpt one in on the back of the... Let's just delete it. On the back of the helmet. Oh, no, shoot. That's the wrong thing. I did not want to... I want to delete the computer. There we go. Oh, wait. Control-Z. Are you kidding me? Did I just lose all of that sculpting data? Oh my gosh. Come on, bring it back for me, honey. God dang it. Ah. Man, okay, that is a pain in the butt is what that is. All right, well, since now I have to do it over again, let's just go ahead and affect this base mesh here. Man, that is just aggravating. All right, we're just gonna save over so that I don't lose anything else that I've done today. Gosh, I hate that. All right, and let's grab to here. Make it local. And just kind of flatten that out. Yeah. There we go. That's a lot flatter. will guard that edge here. Just like with that, we'll come all the way around, grab to here, and just kind of push that in. So now we've got a lot flatter thing to start with, or restart with, because I'm an idiot, hit the wrong button. Well, nobody's immune from stupid mistakes. Okay, and then we'll just do that one more time with the inside here. And just kind of pull that over. Alright, it's closer. It doesn't have to be perfect. So let's actually do this. Let's look at it from the front and then from orthographic so that I can grab all of the vertices on this side here and just delete them. Mirror modifier gives me all of that back. Apply that. There we go. Now it's all kind of flat, which is good. Yeah. All right, that's kind of close. We'll save that. Man, I just hate losing hours of work, don't you? But at least it didn't crash. It was just my mistake. So many notifications while I'm doing this stream. Oh, sweet. Okay, let's start this process over again. So we'll grab the inflate brush, make it super weak, turn on dynamic topology here, add in some more geometry, and smooth it out. So we can just get some more geometry to work with. That's maybe too weak. All right. There we go. Okay. Now that's a better base mesh to start with. That's what I should have done the first time. So, you know, maybe this will be just give me a better result. Still sucks I have to start all over, but better results are worth the time. Let's turn on that. Let's raise that strength up a little bit. And then we will go back here to the top here and looking at this again. Remember, we're going to make that an edge, and we've got the inside edge already, so we'll just go ahead and flatten this top piece. Gonna smooth it out. Crease brush. Give us our little definitive edge there. Turn smooth stroke back on because my hands were not. There we go. And this outside edge here. There we go. And then we'll take this down to about right there, and we'll add in this crease that goes this way, so that it's like an abrupt, hard edge here. Turn off smooth stroke. Still not really a fan of that. Maybe I can bring this crease. Maybe I can bring it to the edge here. So it all just kind of becomes one. Smooth that out. There we go. I like that better. Took a couple of times to get that right, but I like it better. So we're going to stick with that there, and then we'll crease this. Come in here with the flatten brush. Oh, that looks so much better. Okay, I am glad I took the time to rethink that. Okay. We'll come in here with the flatten brush and just kind of flatten this area out here. Okay. Pinch that closer so we actually keep that crease. There we go. That's what I'm talking about right there. That looks good. All right, and then we will fix this outside edge here real quick. Take this all the way down to right in that center spot like it's supposed to be. Flatten it out now. This point here. Let's see, let's try to flatten that. We'll just smooth out that for right now. Come in here with the crease and just take that. smooth it. All right, you know what? That's probably good enough for right now. All right. All right, so now let's do the flattening on the sides here. And then we've gotten this whole thing. Well, actually, let's put this shape back in order. And the way I did that before was just grabbing clay strips here. Make sure that's not my wife texting me. Okay, it is not my wife. Okay, good. Then it doesn't matter right now. Alright, we're smoothing that out, and I like that, but let's kind of scrape that to lightly scrape it to a more polished edge here. Good, I like that. Scrape this. Okay. And I do have the edge here, so it won't be too bad if I just start flattening things. And just try to keep that edge intact. So let's even make the brush a little smaller. Alright. Yeah, that's pretty flat. Flat enough for government work. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's go. Let's flatten this little area out here. It's already mostly flat because of the work we did in edit mode. But just kind of make sure with some final touches here, some smoothing. Smooth all of that out. That's good. Okay, on to the next section. Up. Took out one of those edges. Gotta be careful about that. Need to keep those edges intact. Smooth. I'll even smooth down that edge just a bit. It's not meant to be sharp, it just needs to be kind of a hard edge. Smooth that out. Let's smooth down that edge a little bit. Okay. Alright, if we look at that from the front in perspective mode, what are we looking at? Yeah, that's not too bad. Still gotta clean up some of this edge here. So we'll flatten this. And that should give me the effect that I need. Okay, and then we'll make sure to symmetrize that. Positive and negative. Okay. I am good with that head fin. So, back to object mode. We're going to save it this time, so I can't just undo it. Alright, now it's time to work on the final pieces of this helmet. Just kind of make sure it all like fits together. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna work on the back half here. Let's first throw down a mask of the area that I want to work in. And turn off dynamic topology for this mask. I just need it to go down. Let's say this is the area I'm going to work in. Okay. Invert that mask. Grab the layer brush, and I'm just going to push these. Let's just say 0.2, which is probably far too deep. How deep is that actually into the helmet? Oh, that's not too bad. I imagine, yeah, that'd probably be fine, but yeah, maybe 0.15 was is the right one to do here. But let's kind of smooth this out first before I layer any of that down. That's just kind of... Okay. And then we'll flatten it all. We got ourselves a super smooth area to work with now. And then just smooth that out. Okay. And now I can work with that layer brush, turn off dynamic topology, and push this down. We'll just say we'll take this down just a little bit. So right about there. And that just looks so much better. Yeah, that looks better. That's still pretty deep though. So let's try 0.1. Yeah, that's not too bad. But I don't particularly like it being out that far, so let's bring these back up. And then kind of smooth that out. Yeah, that's better. Let's say that's where their hand is going to go. So now I can... Huh. Alright, we'll add in the edge here. Crease in an edge. And actually, let's be a little further out and let's try to get rid of some of the geometry back here. Because I don't need that much geometry. Oh, it should be removing it. Is it not? Is dynamic topology not turned on? Nope, turn it off. Okay. So let's go in here and let's try to remove some of this geometry and detail here. This 2000 vertices removed. Okay. Alright, that's not too dense now. And yeah. Okay. Now. Alright, there's my edge. And now just to kind of bring this down into here, we'll subtract the edge on the inside. And come at this with a flattened brush. Just gonna flatten this down. Okay. Yeah, that's probably good, but I don't like the fact that the ridge ends there, so let's turn off dynamic topology again with the layer brush. What we'll do is we'll just kind of bring this top section back up. I'm just gonna smooth that out. That's actually, that did not work the way I wanted it to. Let's hide that head V. It doesn't really want to work there, so I guess I'll just have to bring that up manually. Or, you know what? Let's just use the mask brush and pull away some of this mask here, so that I can actually access these vertices. And now, try to smooth that out and bring this up. And then obviously come back in, smooth that down. Put that head V back. Yeah, okay, this is a little bit better. So this kind of needs to mold into that. So let's turn dynamic topology on. And just kind of push. Oh, that's the flatten brush still. Alright, clay strips. Let's just kind of add. Here, in fact, we'll even zoom out because I'm getting kind of dense here. Okay, let's go ahead and clear that mask. So now we can scrape this. And let's actually increase this detail to 10 pixels because I don't need it to be that small. Because my computer can only handle so much, and I'm sure that eventually streaming and trying to do all of this is going to make me hit a limit. So let's go back and remove some of these vertices here, kind of smooth that out. It doesn't look as nice, but it's a little bit more friendly for my CPU. Okay. You know what? Realistically, I could be done right now with I could be done with this sculpt. It's going to serve its purpose for retopology lessons on my TZTeaches YouTube channel. But I don't know if I'm quite ready to give it up. Let's try to just remove some of these extra vertices that don't really do anything for us here. I do hate that. Let's go in here and clean this up. And that's better. I'm not even sure how that happened while I was sculpting the first couple of parts of this. Smooth that out and flatten it down. There we go. And this doesn't need to be that smooth either, so we can kind of clean this up. There's just an unnecessary amount of vertices in that area. Taken off 50,000 verts off this helmet since I've started kind of going back and cleaning up some of these areas. Okay. Now I gotta decide, do I want that computer or not? Because I had the computer piece there before, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of hated the way it looked. But this helmet really only works, like, all of these parts connect because they're supposed to be, at least in the concept art, they're supposed to be kind of a computer chip or, I guess, receiver unit here. So I guess, yeah, I'll go ahead and add one in. So we don't need the flatten brush. I will need the clay strip. So let's just add on, and let's kind of increase the strength a little bit. I don't like that. It needs to be more rectangular, I think. So we'll take it from here. And there's the gist of it. So let's then outline it with our, no, not the pinch brush, need the crease brush. All right, now let's, before I smooth that, let's undo that smoothing, and let's try to actually like flatten this. Control 1 brings me to the actual back perspective. All right, and let's crease this little area here. This will be where it connects. All right. We've got the little receiver unit back on there. I do like it a little bit more sculpted on there than I did when it was its own object. So that's good. Just fill in this area here. Then we can flatten out the sides. All right, so we'll go back and we'll flatten this. Okay. Oh, no, no, no. Smooth out that. There we go. It's a little bit better. And that doesn't look like it came out that far, so we'll just use the grab brush here and just kind of pull that and then push that in a little bit. Just want to try to even this up. All right, and that was smoothing, so now let's kind of flatten that, and we'll flatten it to our view plane so that, you know, we get more of the more of an actual boxy feel. Instead of just like an overall flatness. Do the same thing down here on the bottom. Just kind of reach. There we are. Smooth out those edges a little bit, just so it kind of matches up. I'm going to finish this model when I retopologize it. So having these extra little pieces that stick out here and there is not too big of a deal. Okay. Oh, that's better. Okay. Okay, now here's the thing. It's supposed to connect there to there, but I think that would be better not as a piece that is sculpted in, but as a metal kind of brace that goes up there. So I'm going to see what I can do with the skin modifier here. Let's put let's put that there. On a plane. Then I could just sculpt on the little connector piece here. So actually, yeah, I'm going to leave it like that, and then we'll duplicate that. And let's see, it's on the 0.2. So let's move that to the negative, and then scale it all on the x-axis, -1. And there we go. And now it's lined up perfectly, just like the other one. And so all I have to do now is kind of add this little extra attachment piece here. Go back to the helmet. And my pen. Okay, and so what I want to do is we're going to add in kind of like a little slot here. So first, let's kind of blob out this area, just because that's where it's going to come from. And so we want to make it look like there's actually a hole that it's going into. And then we'll take the crease brush here. I'm too close, so it's starting to clip through some of what I can see. And we will kind of crease up and around this little slot. But because it comes this way, we're going to have to move that slot over so we can grab it and kind of pull it in. And that's not awesome looking, but if I smooth that out, go back to the crease brush, and just add that. All right. Now, to make that look like it actually belongs, we've got to add the creases here. Oh, undo that. And kind of shrink this down because it's going to be just a very small crease. Do the same thing over here. Smooth that out. Smooth this side out. Okay, is there anything else about this helmet that I think needs to be changed before it's ready for retopologizing in an educational video? And I think maybe the only thing that really could be updated, let's go to object mode, that I'm not happy with, we'll go into these headphones here, and we'll just kind of do that same thing that I just did for the other piece. I'll take the blob brush and we'll carve out a section so that we know that that's where it's going, and it's going to actually go in there, and it's going to like actually fit. All right. And there we go. But let's kind of move this crease up a little bit. All right, then we're just gonna smooth that. That's probably too much smoothing. So instead of smoothing that, let's just crease that a little differently. All right. That's good. I could probably add some detail, but since this sculpture is just, it's not going in a game, it's not going to be something I want, or that I'm ultimately going to show off a whole lot. I'm in the wrong object. So let me go ahead and save what we've got here, because I don't need to hit Control-Z again on accident and lose all my work. How many vertices are we working with total? All right, so just over 500,000 vertices on this whole model here. Now, probably, you know, I could clean that up. But for 500,000 vertices, this is kind of a decent first attempt at a sci-fi helmet. Yeah, it's not fantastic. It's not game ready by any sense, but it is definitely a decent attempt, I would say, and I'm kind of happy with it. So let's see. Let's see, anything else that I want to add to it? No, not particularly. All right. Well, since I don't have anything particularly that I want to add to this, I'm going to go ahead and consider this model finished and ready for my other educational video on how to take a high dense mesh and make a low poly one out of it. This is going to be a bit of a thing. I'll probably stream the process of me creating it, or of retopologizing it. So if you're interested in how to do that, hang around. Oh, awesome. Thanks very much, streamer community, for following. I love it. I love it. Yeah, so I'll probably stream the process of retopology, but for now, I am good with this. My first sci-fi helmet. And thanks for hanging out, guys. I'm Tzsweezy. I'll be streaming again on Saturday around 6 p.m. We'll be doing Hearthstone. So, well, not another art thing, but I'll be playing Hearthstone. So come on, hang out with us, or hang out with me while we're playing. And I'll see you guys next time on TKZ Life. Peace.